Cambridge Proficiency Writing, a proposal. Okay, here's the question. The following comments were made during a discussion by members of the training department at your company about whether or not the department should replace classroom-based training with online training. Your manager has asked you to write a proposal on implementing online training, including the benefits, the pitfalls, and what your recommendations would be. Comments. Just-in-time training is great. It can take place anywhere, even in bed. The company will save money by getting rid of our traditional way of training. Will our employees miss the interaction with a real person? Write the proposal for your manager. So, proposal to online training. The following proposal has been written in my capacity as an employee of this company to evaluate whether or not the training department should replace the traditional classroom-based training program with an online education system to adumbrate both the positive and the negative implications of such action, and to put forward several suggestions based on the said ramifications. Okay, this is a great paragraph. It's all one sentence. This is very Dickensian. I love it. Let's see. The formality here, I think I'm going to get, I would say you've written, the formality of this is something like 7.5. It's high semi-formal, low formal. Yeah, it's pretty formal. Let's see, of such action. Positive and negative of such action. I think I would be happier instead of actions uncountable, actions plural. But I don't think there is any mistake there. It just, to me, it reads more easily. But apart from that, that's a great first paragraph. And if you have a really good first paragraph, the examiner's already impressed and is already thinking, okay, this is a good candidate. I'm going to give this a good mark. Yeah, I like the way you've managed to write it all in one linked sentence, which itself it adds formality to the feel of this. Online training benefits. If an online training program is to be instigated, far greater flexibility will be given to employees when it comes to the way they learn. Okay, instigated. I'm not very happy with instigated. I would like the word implemented. But let's see if I can think of a better word, because implemented is actually in the question. Is to be applied, enacted, put in place, bit informal, set up. I think the word I'm probably going to like more is implemented, and I know it's in the original. Instigate, normally to instigate is to incite somebody, particularly to do something bad, not always something bad. And instigate has the idea of supporting this action, is getting somebody else to do it, is promoting it, but not actually doing it itself, doing it yourself. Maybe I'll think of a better word than implemented as I go on. Far greater flexibility will be given to employees when it comes to the way they learn. Yeah, the way they learn. Maybe their way of learning, the way they learn, it's okay. Unlike in brick and mortar classrooms, when training online, not only does a student have the liberty of designating the time and place to study, but they also have the permission to select the preferred courses and to adjust the playing speed based on their personal pace of studying. Okay, it's not bad. Let's see, unlike in brick and mortar classrooms, I think I want to put an S here. Bricks and mortar, unlike in brick and mortar classrooms, no, sorry, not bricks and mortars, no, bricks and mortar. Yeah? In bricks and mortar classroom, a bricks and mortar approach. Yeah, I definitely want the S in this, but notice it's on the first part, not on the second part. Bricks and mortar classrooms. I think, yeah. When training online, not only does a student have the liberty of designating, better word than designing, of designating the time and place to study, but they also, so when training online, not only do students have the liberty, I would say the liberty to designate. I think liberty to reads more naturally than the liberty of designating, but I don't think the liberty of designating is probably wrong. The time and place, and again here, to study, time and place of study. I think again this reads more naturally and more easily. I think what you've written is not wrong. I think my corrections just make it feel more natural. But they also have the permission. Here I would use permission uncountable. They have permission to select the preferred courses. I think their preferred courses. I know you've got a student, but here, male or female, his or her, their preferred courses, and to adjust the playing speed based on their personal pace of studying. Okay, based on the playing speed, I think I might reduce this to play speed. To adjust the play speed. It sounds more natural. I think playing speed is not wrong again. Based on their personal pace of studying. Again here I would say pace of study. It just sounds more natural. So I think no mistakes there. What I've done is just to make it sound more like a native speaker. Moreover, online training can be much more efficient than our traditional way of learning, whether it be the considerable amount of staff time saved due to the removal of lengthy commutes, or the funds saved as the cost of travelling, renting conference rooms, food, service, etc. is eliminated. Moreover, online training can be much more efficient than our traditional way of learning. Fine. Whether it be, I love it. You could write whether it is, but all of this has got a 7. I've given it a 7.5 in formality. Whether it be goes really well. It slots in beautifully to that. Whether it be the considerable amount of time saved due to the removal of lengthy commutes, or the funds saved as the cost of travelling, renting conference rooms, food service, etc. is eliminated. I guess you could use the cost uncountable, but I think the costs of, because each of these are individual ones. But again, it's not wrong. I think the cost of would work. Furthermore, when one considers the economic hardship that our company is currently facing, the effect of the latter will appear to become even more significant. So will appear even more significant, will become even more significant. Let me do this differently. Will carry even greater weight. I'm not very happy with the appear to become. It will become one of them. I think I like what I've done. I like the change I've put together there. Online training, the pitfalls. So pitfalls was mentioned in the question. The drawbacks. Just to change the other, change from what they've used. Against the aforementioned points, I love it. That's really good. That's really nice. We need to consider the following arguments, namely that our trainees generally have a preference towards our current method of training, and there is somewhat a lack of face-to-face contact and human element in virtual classrooms, and that there are fewer distractions in traditional bricks and mortar classrooms than trainees' homes. Okay, the following arguments, namely that our trainees generally have a preference towards our current method of training. Yes, it's okay. Training method. It just takes a word out, makes it more succinct. Nothing wrong with method of training, but training method, nice word, noun collocation. No, collocation. So there is somewhat a lack of face-to-face contact. Okay, this somewhat, there is somewhat a lack. You see, I would say somewhat lacking. I would probably say something like and method. That face-to-face communication and a human element are somewhat lacking in virtual classrooms. Let's see. I've read the essay already. I've read it through, and you've already used somewhat before. So just take it out. That there is a lack of face-to-face contact and human element in virtual classrooms, and that there are fewer distractions in traditional bricks and mortar classrooms than in trainees' homes. Okay, that works pretty well. That's a pretty long sentence as well. So all of that. Let me just read the whole thing through. Against the aforementioned points, we need to consider the following arguments, namely that our trainees generally have a preference towards our current training methods, that there is a lack of face-to-face contact and human elements in virtual classrooms, and that there are fewer distractions in traditional bricks and mortar classrooms than trainees' homes. Okay, it works. Let's see. I think one thing, namely that, and then you give a list of things. Now, the list of things you give are quite long phrases, and instead of a comma, I think it would be better to give a semicolon. Yeah, and then we put a semicolon here, and this clearly indicates that this is a list of things, namely that our trainees generally have a preference towards our current training method, that there is a lack of face-to-face contact and human element in virtual classrooms, and that there are fewer distractions in traditional bricks and mortar classrooms than in trainees' homes. You see, I'm very tempted to put a colon here as well. Yeah, namely, and then you've got this list, namely, that our trainees, etc., etc. I think it reads better like that. I think what you've written is not wrong, it just makes it clearer. The significant number of distractions in a regular home setting can give rise to a loss of focus, dramatically lessening our trainees, you need an I here, our trainees' effectiveness of learning. Okay, the significant number of distractions in a regular home setting can give rise to a loss of focus, dramatically lessening, I love this word, lessening, our trainees' effectiveness. I think I would prefer when learning. Moreover, the majority of our staff members appreciate the friendly atmosphere created when studying together with their fellow colleagues, engaging in witty repartee. I love this phrase, witty repartee, it's great. The said people, I think I would probably say the majority of our staff, the said people. The said people deem that our present manner of training can build up rapport, strengthen camaraderie, and boost healthy intergroup relationships as well. So, the said people. The said people. You're referring here to the majority of our staff. Said people deem. I think I would just lose the said people. I think they also deem that our present manner of training can build up rapport, so manner, it works, our present manner of training. Let's try a nice cool addition. Our present training methodology can build up rapport. So lose the can. Builds up rapport, strengthens camaraderie, and boosts healthy intergroup relationships. As well. They also deem as well. I can't use both of those. I think instead of putting the as well here at the end, I'm going to leave the also. But you could say they deem that our present training methodology, etc., as well. One or the other. Okay, recommendations. Online lessons are fundamentally flawed when considering its ability to help trainees develop social and presentational skills by making education a real-life experience with eye contact and body language. Okay, online lessons are fundamentally flawed when considering its inability to help trainees develop social and presentational skills by making education a real life experience through, nothing wrong with what you've written, it just reads more easily through eye contact and body language. I might even say eye to eye. I think eye to eye. Through eye to eye contact and body language. Nonetheless, when being compared with the substantial amount of time saved, as well as the economic benefits some actions can bring, those factors are somewhat trifling, and here you've got your somewhat, and sacrificing a small proportion of interpersonal communication can be worthwhile. Okay, first comment, these cans. Yeah, you need at least to make them into coulds. Yeah, this is quite a formal thing. Yeah, when you can use could instead of can, it's adding formality. So, nonetheless, when being compared, I'd lose this being when compared with, compared to, with is okay, the substantial amount of time saved, as well as the economic benefits such action can bring, might bring, would bring. Those factors, I would prefer these factors because these are the ones we're considering. These factors are somewhat trifling. I love this somewhat trifling. And sacrificing a small proportion of interpersonal communication can be, could be, would be worthwhile. On balance, the best way forward would be to begin a trial of online training. In addition to integrating as much interactive content as possible into our online tutorial classes, we should evaluate its effectiveness over the next 6 months and gauge, good word, staff's satisfactory degree. No. Simultaneously in a bid to make further strides. Okay, this was a great sentence. And gauge, no. The level of staff satisfaction. So we should evaluate its effectiveness over the next 6 months and gauge the level of staff satisfaction simultaneously in a bid to make further strides. I'm going to add the word forward. Further. Is it with an E? Forward. Forward. Okay, and make further strides forward. This is a very good essay. I like it a lot. It's very good. You've done very well with the accuracy. Yeah, I think having read through it, I would say the only mistakes are this I in trainees, which is nitpicking. This appear to become. It's not wholly a mistake, but it doesn't read very nicely. And this final one at the end, the level of staff satisfaction, I think this one's the only real mistake in the whole thing. I think the accuracy is very high. Let's see. Answer the question. You've answered this question really, really well. Yeah, it's a very nice proposal. It's very well put together. So, what am I going to say? I think I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's a really good answer. The tone of formality I really like as well. It's very good. I think Definitely 9 in tone, 9.5 works very nicely. You've got a good range of different structures. You've got complex sentences, really complex sentences, which are very good, and they're pretty cohesive as well. They hold together nicely. Range of structures 8.5 to 9. Accuracy, I think I've got to give you a 9 for accuracy, which is very good. Vocabulary, again, I think 8.5 to 9 for the vocabulary. What else? What else do I need to say about this? Okay, yeah, cohesive. How well it holds together. How well it reads. It reads very well, particularly for something which reads quite formally, because very often when something is rather formal, it can become difficult to understand what the writer means, and you've dispatched that very well. I think overall I want to give this one a 9. It's a very good essay. Well done.